So joining us on set now is Alejandra from the National Latina Institute for Reproductive Health, who will share her story. So Alejandra, whenever you're ready, you may start.
Okay, thank you. I'm so honored to be here, and this is going to be the first time that I actually share my story. Not to my family, not to most of my close friends, only a very few special people know. And I've actually had more than one abortion. I was the girl who wanted to be married and lose my virginity to that one boy. I was almost 19 years old when I lost my virginity, and I got pregnant by him. I found out 2 weeks after we broke up. After being together for 2 years, I was almost 21 years old when I had my first abortion. And yeah, I just knew that he wasn't the one I wanted to start a family with. I didn't tell him because he was gonna force me to have the baby. I didn't tell my family because it would devastate them. I was going to college, I was gonna transfer to the U of A, and I just knew automatically that I wasn't ready to plan a family at that time. And it was very easy and accessible to me at the time. So I think the reason why I'm here for sure is to make sure that abortion is legal, safe, and accessible for everyone. Yeah, so my first abortion was easy, but it was also very tough. The clinic was great, the people there were great. They were very kind, very attentive, so much so that I was forced to lie to them. I wasn't allowed to leave the clinic after my surgery alone because it wasn't safe. You might still be under sedation. Yeah, you're there in the clinic trying to make sure that all the sedation gets out of your body. I think that's what happens. That's why I was there for a couple of hours also. But when I was ready to leave, I wasn't able to leave because I was alone. So I lied to them and I told them that I had someone waiting for me. And what happened is I ended up being in the car for almost an hour and a half till I felt capable of driving myself. I didn't tell anybody. So the stigma of having an abortion can really hurt people. I feel like now when I think about my story, because like I said, I've never really thought about them. I've suppressed these stories so much that once I started thinking about it, I was like, something could have happened to me. I could have been in a car accident. Not sure what else could have happened, but the stigma really made me keep it to myself for years and years. I mean, it's been 11, 10 years, yeah, since I've ever said it out loud, and that's why I'm here today. Later on in my life, I had wanted to do more of a permanent contraception, and at a clinic that I attended at the time back in Arizona, I was told that I was too young. I was too young, and time passed and I get pregnant again. And again, I'm the only expert in my life, and I knew I needed to end the pregnancy. I don't regret any of my abortions. I don't regret any of them. I do regret not being more out loud. Like you guys mentioned, I work for the National Latina Institute for Reproductive Health, and I organized with them. I make sure the stigma is not there. I make sure women are talking about their story. I make sure that women are empowered and they have information to feel supported, and let them know that the National Latina Institute is there, right? What they have done for me and made me courageous and made me bold. And I've been wanting to tell my story ever since. And I can empower other mujeres to tell their stories, other women, and to share when I'm still in the dark. Like I said, this is like me coming out to my family as well. I've always thought about maybe sharing, I had maybe one abortion, but no, I've had more than one, and they were all good decisions. I don't regret any of them. A lot of people make choices for youth. A lot of folks, you know, my parents made decisions for me, right? They weren't gonna talk to me about sex. They weren't gonna talk to me about relationships. And I had to figure all that out myself. My schools made decisions for me, right? They told me they weren't gonna teach me about sex. They weren't gonna teach me about condoms. Abstinence is what you were supposed to do. Church institutions made decisions for me. Everybody's making decisions for me, but nobody really has to be there for the consequences. Whether they're good or bad, I'm the only one that's there. And I wanna be able to make my own decisions. So another reason also is just, like I said, like being out, it's liberation for me. I work towards liberation for all people, and I don't want to be judged. I also feel that when women speak about more than one abortion, it's also like, well, also, why didn't you do something different, right? There's many reasons. Lack of education, lack of access, lack of support. I didn't have agency to make the right decisions. I got involved with the wrong men. And I'm just deciding that I don't want to do that, right? And I don't want to be judged for having more than one abortion. currently, right now, I had just made an appointment to have another abortion. Unfortunately, the person and I that was involved with, him and I decided that we didn't want to have a baby together after being together, and I'm gonna have another one. And I think it's very important for me to come all the way out and be honest and really push people to really like look at what their feelings are about abortion. Even folks that say, your choice, you've done it, but there's still those folks out there who look at me and say, but you've had more than one, you've had 3, you're gonna have 4. I definitely think that if we just had more access to information, if I would have been able to talk to my parents more about sex, about relationships, if I wouldn't have seen the things that I've seen, if people just stop making choices for us, you guys gotta trust youth, trust us to make our own decisions. So yeah, for me, every visit to the clinic was a great visit. It was just as, I mean, the myths of like abortions being really deadly and bad, and it's not true. It's just as safe. I think something else can happen to me by being in a dentist appointment. I think that's how much more dangerous a dentist appointment can be. For me, nothing, I mean, it was super safe. Nothing happened to me. I didn't feel nothing afterwards. And I was able to graduate. I was able to do so many things in life. At the end of the day, I can't afford to have a child or a family. There's systemic issues that are literally blocking me from planning a life. I barely can afford with being a grad student, an undergrad. I can barely afford with my salary now to take care of my own self. So besides economic issues, right, and stigmas and an array of systemic issues, I'm not ready to plan a family. And like I said, I've had abortions and I'm gonna have another one, and I don't regret it. And my partner and I think it's the right decision, and that's our business and only our business, and it's my choice. I just want to make sure abortions stay accessible, legal, and safe. I was very lucky to have those access to there, but there's plenty of communities that don't have that information, don't have the access, don't have the $580 to pay for an abortion. So, like I said, I'm here to share my story because I want that stigma to be out. Every day I condemn myself. Every day I figure out how to tell my activists and poderosas that we work with, which means powerful women that we work with, that, oh, I just had one abortion. And actually, no, I had more than one, and it's okay, and I made the right decision, and I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I love children. I want to plan a family, but I want to plan a family when it's right for me, with the person who wants to plan a family for me, with me, and just 1 in 3 women will have an abortion. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so much, Alejandra, and you're definitely a poderosa in all of our lives.
Gracias. Gracias.